I know when you go to Disney World, there are so many ways that you are going to want to be making the most of your time whenever you are on your visit. There is a lot of planning and time and money that goes into preparing for your visit that you're going to want to be making the most of your time while you are there. And that's why tonight I want to share with you 9 tips that you can use on your next Disney World visit to help you make the most of your time. So if you are joining here on the live, I want to say thank you for being here. And if you're watching on the replay, thank you so much for being here as well. We go live every Wednesday at 7 p.m., where we talk about different tips when going to Disney World, different things that you can do when going to the Disney parks. So I invite you to join next time. But if you are here in the live, definitely go ahead and put yourself in the chat. Say hello. I'd love to say hi to you guys. And if at any point at all during the live stream here you have any questions or comments, or you have any tips that you like to use when going to the Disney parks, definitely let us know, because I know I like to have different tips to have up my sleeve whenever going to Disney World. And I know other viewers here in the live stream or on the replay would love to have different tips to use as well. So as I mentioned, we are going to be talking about 9 different tips that you can use when going to Disney World on your next Disney visit that I like to use. These might be tips that I have talked about in previous videos, or just new tips that I have recently discovered when going to the Disney parks. So we're going to go ahead and get right on into these tips here tonight. So the first tip that I want to talk to you about is to download the My Disney Experience app. If you have ever watched any of my videos or watched a live stream here before, you know I talk a lot about the My Disney Experience app. This is such a handy app to use whenever you are going to Disney World. There are so many handy features and things on the app that can really help you whenever you are visiting the Disney parks. And I highly recommend downloading it whenever you go on your next visit. This is an app that is specific to Disney World, and as I mentioned, there are a lot of features in the app that are very handy to use. I like using it because you can check wait times when you are at the parks. There's park maps there, so if you ever get lost, you can help find your way around the park or find ways to navigate. You can do mobile ordering, mobile checkout, so many helpful and handy features on this app that I highly recommend checking out and downloading whenever you are going on your next Disney visit. This is just another helpful tool and handy thing to have on hand whenever you are going to the Disney parks on a vacation. And another thing that I do recommend is if you are going to Disney World and you plan on downloading the My Disney Experience app, definitely navigate it and learn how to use it before you go on your trip. There's so many helpful things that you can use on the app, and I highly recommend checking it out before you actually go, so that way you know how to use it and you can use it to your advantage and really use the most of it whenever you are going to the parks. So hey there, Doofs, thanks so much for being here. So we're talking about Disney tips tonight. We talked about our first tip, which is to download the My Disney Experience app. But the second thing that I want to talk about has to do with some of the features in the My Disney Experience app that you can take advantage of. And that is to do mobile ordering and mobile checkout. So when it comes to going to Disney World, one thing that you can do is you can mobile order your food at different quick service stops that are around the Disney park. So essentially, quick service stops are kind of the equivalent of fast food stations that are in the Disney parks. But a handy thing that you can do is you can actually mobile order your food on the app. You can purchase it, and then you can pick it up at the quick service stop. This is so handy because there are so many times that it is going to be very busy at these quick service restaurants, and lines are going to be very long to order food and to pick up food. And it's going to be very nice to already have it mobile ordered and checked out, so you can just go and pick it up whenever you are at the restaurant. This is very handy too, because they actually have time slots too that you can indicate when you actually want to go pick up your food. So it can kind of help you to plan out your day a little bit better and really maximize your time in the parks. And that's one thing that I absolutely like to do. Then you don't have to wait in the long lines to actually check out your food, and you can just go ahead and have it all ready and picked up whenever you are wanting to go eat at a quick service stop. We've got some more things coming in here. Hey, Matt, thank you for being here. Bunny Blue, thank you so much for being here as well. And so you think Casey's is the worst. So I was just actually thinking about it today about different quick service stops and restaurants around Disney World that I need to check out. And Casey's actually came across like what I was thinking about today as far as places to go. I've never personally been there before. I've heard a lot of hype about it, but I don't know. You'll have, I guess by the sounds of it, I shouldn't check it out, but I was thinking about doing it in another Disney park visit, but maybe not. I've heard mixed reviews about it for sure. But thank you guys so much for being here. The other thing that we were talking about here with the second tip was to use mobile checkout. So this is a feature I've seen a lot of people know about and have used the mobile ordering before, but I have not honestly seen a lot of people take advantage of this mobile checkout feature. So this is a feature in the My Disney Experience app again, where you can actually mobile check out some of the merch and items that you want to purchase when at the parks. Of course, when you go to Disney World, you'll probably want to get some souvenirs or purchase some things to remember your trip by. And in the main stores at the Disney parks, like the Emporium at Magic Kingdom, the Creation Shop at Epcot, it can get very hectic and chaotic in these shops, and it can get very busy, and there can be long lines to actually check out whenever you are done shopping. So one handy thing that you can actually do is you can mobile checkout on the My Disney Experience app. So essentially what it is, it's like you can just check out on the app. You get the barcode for all of the items that you are looking for. You can scan them, and then you can go ahead and purchase all of the items, and then it will pop up with a little QR code or a barcode. And you go up to the mobile checkout counter and you show the cast member that you purchased the items, and then away you're able to go. There have been such long lines that I have seen in these shops at times that it can get very hectic and chaotic, and it can really eat up some of your time in the park whenever you are shopping at the Disney parks. So definitely take advantage of this mobile checkout feature. I have used it a lot. It has been a lifesaver. It has saved me a lot of time, so I definitely recommend it when you are going to Disney World and thinking of doing some shopping. So let's see here. Absolutely. Yeah. Must mobile order. Definitely recommend it. And let's see here. Tia has made us start using, yes, I'm using the mobile checkout, and you'll get an email. Yes. And you will get an email. Yeah. And the other nice thing that I like about it too is, the one nice thing that I like about it is if you are an annual pass holder or you want to take advantage of some discount in some way, if you are mobile checkout or doing the mobile checkout on the account that you have your annual pass linked to, it will automatically take off that annual pass discount, which is very nice. So you still can take advantage of some discounts there as well. So let's see, what's the only drawback? Oh, mobile order drawback. So you still have to wait to stand in line. Mobile checkout. Yeah, there's mobile order. Yeah, I have seen there are sometimes some lines that you do have to wait in order to get your food and things. Usually with the mobile checkout, in my experience, yeah, there hasn't really been that long of lines, which has been nice. Like I said, I haven't really seen a lot of people taking advantage of it or using it. I don't know that a lot of people really know about it. So that's just a nice way to save some time when you're in the parks. But another thing I will say with both of these things, with the mobile checkout and the mobile ordering, is consider putting a credit card in the My Disney Experience app already and put in before you actually go on your trip. Because I've seen a lot of people, when they figure out that they can do mobile ordering or mobile checkout, they kind of scramble last minute to get a credit card put in, and that can take a little bit of time. And sometimes you might get the numbers wrong and things. So definitely recommend having a payment option already put in there. So that way you can just seamlessly go and mobile order and mobile checkout. It'll help to save you some time. Okay, let's see another FYI here with mobile checkout. Double check prices. Sometimes they don't match. Okay, that's good to know. I have not experienced that, but hey, that's good to know to have in mind whenever you are mobile checkout or doing the mobile checkout. Make sure you check the prices, make sure that they line up. That's a good tip. I did not think of that. So we talked about mobile ordering and mobile checkout. We will hop onto the third tip here. The third tip I have for you is definitely to not eat during the meal rushes when in the parks. I absolutely highly recommend not eating during like peak meal times, such as like right at lunchtime or right at dinner time, because it can get so chaotic and hectic in these quick service restaurants that it can be hard to find a place to eat. The lines can be long. If you aren't planning on doing mobile ordering, it can be very long to actually order your food and then wait to get your food. And then on top of that, it can get very busy inside of these spots as well, where you may have a hard time actually finding a spot to eat. And then you have to risk waiting for a table to come open, risk having your food get cold, and you spent a lot of time on that food or a lot of money on that food. So you definitely want to make sure that you are finding a spot to eat as quick as possible so that way you can take advantage of eating it. So in my experience, the times that I have found that have worked out very well for eating in the Disney parks have been around 11 o'clock. Usually that's when the quick service stops are opening anyhow. So that's a really good time to go, and when it's not as busy, to go and get a bite to eat. Definitely do not eat at 12 o'clock. That is just not what you're going to want to do. That's when everybody's going to want to go and get food because they're hungry. They're trying to get a break from the sun. So definitely take advantage of going before and after the meal rushes. I found that like late afternoon as well, before dinner time, has been really good. And then after 5 o'clock is a good time to go eat as well. So just consider that whenever you are thinking of eating in the Disney parks. You don't want to go and eat right at the meal rush times because it can take up a lot of time in your Disney park day, and you can risk having your food go bad, which you do not want to have. So let's see here. Hey, thank you so much for joining in. You just got back from Magic Kingdom. I hope you had an awesome visit. That's so awesome. Thank you so much for being here. And we buy way too much. You see it often. Okay, hey, that's good to know though. Let's see here. Peak meal times is when ride times are short. So that's another thing to take advantage of if you're wanting to do rides, and especially very popular rides. Definitely go and check out some rides during those times. So that way you can get some low wait times. I definitely agree with that. And let's see. You just eating Disney popcorn while watching. Hey, it's like a show. That's awesome. I'm glad you have some Disney popcorn to enjoy. That's perfect. And let's see here as well. FYI, Casey has the largest regular size drink. Okay, every other place only sells the smaller cups. Good to know. I did not know that. That is good to know. Whenever, especially if you're wanting to get like a soda or something, that is a good thing to know. So thank you for sharing that. I did not know that. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. So that is definitely what I recommend when it comes to eating at the Disney parks. Make sure that you are going before and after the peak meal times, because that will help to make the most of your time when you are in the parks. But another way that you can eat at Disney World, and one thing that is very popular, is the fourth tip that I have here for you, and it has to do with Disney dining reservations. So the tips that I want to share with you here are, as you may know, when going to Disney World, you can make reservations for some of the restaurants on Disney property, but there are some very popular dining restaurants at Disney World. And the thing about these popular dining restaurants is that reservations for them go very quickly. Now, I believe if you are a Disney Resort guest, you can make reservations 60 days in advance. And then if you are a regular park guest, you can make them 30 days in advance. If I am wrong on that, please somebody correct me in the comments, in the chat. But as far as that goes, if you are going and trying to get a reservation for some of these very popular restaurants, what I recommend is, if you don't get your first option right away, can be discouraging at times, but there's still some ways that you can actually get a reservation for the restaurant, which I want to share with you 3 tips here that I have found to be very helpful and handy if you are wanting to get, say, a Space 220 reservation or an Oga's Cantina reservation. These have helped me in the past, that I've been able to get some very sought after reservations. So the first thing that I want to share with you is you can use a website called mousedining.com. So mousedining.com, what they do is you can sign up. I believe you create an account, and what you can do is you can have them send you email alerts for when a reservation comes open for the restaurant that you are wanting to eat at. So I believe I looked into it the other day. I think it is 6 free alerts that you can get with your free account. And then after that, you can pay for another version if you want to get more alerts after that. But this is a nice way if you wanted to get a reservation for like Be Our Guest or something that's very popular, you can go on mousedining.com, have them send you an email alert for if something comes available. And if that's something that you really wanted to do on your Disney visit, you can try to take advantage of getting a time to eat at the park or at the restaurant there. The second thing that I have for you here is definitely just look randomly and routinely throughout your days and just see if anything comes available. You never know when something might pop up. I know that I have seen this happen a lot in the past. You never know when somebody might have to cancel or might not be able to make it and things like that. So definitely just look randomly throughout the day. If you think of it, just go on and see if there's any times that pop up. And the third thing that I want to share with you is probably one of your best bets when it comes to it, but it might be, you might have to get a little bit flexible, is actually check the night before and the day of you actually wanting to go and eat at that restaurant. So you may be familiar with this, but what actually happens when you make a dining reservation at Disney World is if you do not make it to your reservation and if you don't cancel 24 hours ahead of time, is you actually get charged a $10 fee per person. So what a lot of guests will do is they will hold on to these reservations as long as possible until the last minute, and then they will drop them if they figure out that they can't actually get to their dining reservation or that they can't actually take advantage of it. So this is exactly when you swoop in and try to get a dining reservation for the very popular or just restaurant that you may be wanting to check out. Definitely check and see if anything comes available. I have been able to get some Oga's Cantina reservations this way, and I've seen a lot of things come available last minute because people are dropping the reservations. They don't want to pay the $10 fee. So this is just a way, if you are trying to get reservations at Disney World, definitely try this method. I know it can be very discouraging not getting something right away, but this is just something last minute that you could try to take advantage of. So especially with the third tip I said, if you are doing it the night before or day of, you may have to get a little bit flexible. You may not get the exact time that you wanted, but it's going to be better than nothing, I guess, if that is something that you really want to do. So those are tips that I have whenever it comes to getting dining reservations at the parks. Hey, Gabe, thanks so much for being here. Third, what tip are we on? I think that fourth tip was actually inspired by you going to be making your reservation soon. So thank you for that. That's what I wanted to, or because I answered your question there, is why I wanted to share that tip here in the live stream. So thank you for that. And let's see. Okay. Some of these third-party sites charge, some don't. Folks. So, okay, yeah. So, yeah, I know I haven't used any personally in the past, but I have seen a lot of people have good success with using some of them, like mouse dining. So that's why I like to share all of the tools that I ever come across, just in case it's something that you want to use or find helpful. But yeah, definitely just be on the lookout that. And let's see here. On Hotline said their system recycles all canceled reservations around 7:30 to 7 a.m. every day. Okay, so if you are able to wake up in the morning and try to see if there is a reservation available, that's a good time to do that. So I'm glad that you said that. Thank you for that. And let's see here. If you don't cancel in time, just modify. Yes, so this is something I haven't shared before because I don't want Disney to take it away. But yes, if you can't find out that you can't actually make your reservation the last minute and you want to avoid that $10 fee, what you can actually do is you can modify your reservation time to a different day, like the doofs are saying here, and then you can cancel it later on. So that's something you can definitely take advantage of too if you find out you can't use the dining reservation and then you want to avoid the fee, because I totally get it. So definitely consider all of those things whenever it comes to trying to get or plan dining reservations at Disney World. I know it's a very popular thing to do when visiting Disney. So those are some tips for you there as far as dining goes. But the fifth tip that I have for you here, we'll get into actually being in the parks, is to be mindful of your time spent in the sun. So of course, you know, Disney World's in Florida, especially if you're visiting during the summertime here. The weather here in Florida can be very brutal, especially whenever it comes to summertime or whenever it's sunny down here in Florida. And a lot of places in the Disney parks actually aren't very shaded. There's not a lot of shade around unless you go into a store or a restaurant or a ride. There's not a lot of shade around, and you might not really realize it at first, but the heat and the sun can definitely get to you very, very quickly. And it is a very good way to drain your energy and really make you very tired whenever you're in the parks and dehydrate you. So one thing that I recommend is to definitely be mindful of the time that you spend in the sun. Definitely take some AC breaks. Make sure that you are taking advantage of walking in the shade. I know it sounds so silly, but every chance that I get to walk in the shade when at Disney World, I don't care if it's just a little patch of trees or what it is, I always walk in the shade because you will get enough sun time down here when you are at the Disney park. So definitely recommend just be mindful of the amount of times that you are in the sun, and the amount of time that you're in the sun. And two areas that really come to mind are Toy Story Land. That's a land that does not have a lot of shade. And then also the World Showcase does not have a lot of shade at all. And I did not realize that until a friend actually, I was talking to them about the World Showcase, and they brought that up because they had gone on a trip and they had realized that on their trip. And then the last time that I was there, I definitely realized it as well. So definitely just make sure that you are being mindful of the amount of time that you are in the sun here. And yes, I like this as well. I like to be in the shade or use an umbrella. I know I do see a lot of people actually use umbrellas to stay out of the sun or to keep the sun off of them. So that's a very good tip as well, especially if you're here during the summertime. You might already have an umbrella on you because it can rain randomly throughout your time in the park. So that's a really good tip. I really like that. So definitely be mindful of your time in the sun. That's what I like to do. And then if you are wanting to get a break from the sun, or if you're wanting to take advantage of things that do not have long wait times throughout the day, definitely take advantage of doing shows midday. This is one of my favorite things to do. I just went to Magic Kingdom yesterday, and this is pretty much what I did the middle of the day. I got to the park around 2 p.m. and wait times for rides were absolutely insane. And I did not want to wait in any long lines outdoors or just in any long lines in general, especially down here during the summertime. Wait times can be absolutely insane. So what I did was I just mainly did the shows midday. So I did Carousel of Progress. I did the Country Bear Jamboree, a lot of shows that I don't usually do. But I found that I was able to get right on and off or right in and out of some of these shows, and I did not have to wait a long time at all. And it was a great way to get out of the sun because it's just been absolutely unbearable recently down here in the Disney parks. So I really like doing shows midday. And another thing that's nice about the shows are a lot of times they actually have times put on them for when they will actually be happening. So when it comes to waiting for shows, or like when you wait in a line, you know how long it's going to be. But the nice thing about shows is you can actually time when you want to go and see the show. So like for the Beauty and the Beast show or the Finding Nemo show, you know, there's multiple times throughout the day that you can see these, and you know exactly when you're able to hop in and out. So that's what I like to do midday. Definitely take advantage of those shows. Usually they have very short wait times, and you're able to escape the sun and preserve some of your energy. So I definitely recommend that when it comes to middle of the days. And yes, that's another great one. I do love the shows as well. And Hall of Presidents is a great way too. That's a nice long show that you can take advantage of at Magic Kingdom. Very well air conditioned. So yeah, I'm glad that you did that. I really like Hall of Presidents for that as well. It's a nice way to escape the sun and just honestly sit down a little bit too, because you are going to be doing a lot of walking, a lot of running around whenever you're in the Disney parks. And so just being able to get a breather and just sit down is a really nice thing to be able to do. So that was the sixth tip. Well, the seventh tip that I have for you here is something that seems common sense to me, but it might not be for other guests. But I definitely want to bring it up here. And the seventh thing is to wear comfortable shoes when you are in the parks. The reason why I don't think that it maybe makes sense or that it doesn't immediately come across to people is because I don't know that people really realize how much walking you're going to do whenever you are at Disney World and whenever you are in the Disney parks. The Disney parks are so big. There's so much walking that you're going to be doing, walking from either side of the parks or from ride to ride. And I highly recommend wearing comfortable shoes. Another reason why I bring this up is because yesterday, as I said, I was at Magic Kingdom and I saw this family, and this one guest was wearing high heels in the park. and we were in the Emporium, and I saw that her and her family had actually purchased a new pair of shoes for her because the high heels were definitely not working out for them during the day. And so I don't know, maybe they were doing a photo shoot or something. There's definitely maybe another reason why she was in high heels, but just think about the shoes that you are wanting to wear to the Disney parks. I see a lot of people wearing very like unsupportive sandals and just very impractical shoes, in my opinion, to the parks. And by the end of the day, they're either walking barefoot out of the park or just have bad blisters. I've heard a lot of people talk about the blisters that they're getting. So really, I just recommend wearing comfortable shoes. My tips for shoes are make sure you're wearing shoes that are already broken in. Don't wear new shoes to Disney World. Wear shoes that you know are comfortable, that you've worn a lot, like I said. And try to wear shoes too if you have shoes that are able to dry very quickly or are waterproof at all. Definitely recommend wearing those because it may rain or you may go on a water ride and your shoes may get wet and you don't want to have wet shoes throughout your day. So those are my tips as far as shoes go. Definitely just recommend wearing comfortable shoes. You may have seen before, I wear the Croc wedges personally. Those are the shoes I absolutely swear by when going to the Disney parks. Tennis shoes are great as well. I usually wear, or I did wear tennis shoes before finding the Croc wedges. But yes, just be very practical and think about the shoes that you are wanting to wear before going to the Disney parks. That's probably one of my biggest tips here. So let me see here. Yes, the People Mover. I do love the People Mover. It's a great one because you go into Space Mountain. Yes, and there's air conditioning. Yes, I absolutely love that. The nice thing about the People Mover too, I was able to avoid the rain yesterday. As soon as I got on the People Mover, it started raining, and then by the time I was off, it stopped raining. So I definitely lucked out with that. I was able to see Tron launch too, which was very fun. But yes, you can go in Space Mountain, and there's air conditioning. It's very shaded from the sun as well, which is a nice thing. So definitely recommend that too. That was a very good tip. And yeah, flip-flops all day long, probably not what you want to do. Or maybe, I don't know. And that's another thing too. I mean, I do have to think about what might not be comfortable for me, may be comfortable for other people. So ultimately with that, just think about what is comfortable for you. Yes, I actually have seen this. Gloria refuses to take off her high heels. I think it's really funny. I might have to go back and rewatch that episode. But yeah, the high heels was a first for me. I had not seen that before. You wear Crocs? Yes, I absolutely love the Crocs. Even just regular style Crocs, I like as well. Usually, it's nice to also wear socks with those sometimes. But yeah, I absolutely love the Croc wedges. You've probably seen me talk about them a lot. I absolutely love them. Let's see. In spandex dresses and high heels and full makeup. Yeah, I know some people too sometimes will dress up and go to the parks for like photo shoots or, for like date nights at Epcot. I've seen a lot of people like that, but I don't know. You just do a lot of walking. Doesn't seem very practical to me, but like I said, what's comfortable for other people might not be comfortable for me. So definitely just think about it, I guess. But yes, tennis shoes, absolutely love tennis shoes. And yes, I was so excited. This is a side note, but yes, talking about seeing Tron launch yesterday, that was absolutely amazing. I was so excited to see that. There have been so many times that I've been at Magic Kingdom or been on the People Mover and I have not seen it. And I actually gasped whenever I saw it go. So I was very excited to be able to catch that. That was like a first for me and I was excited. And it was interesting because they were still launching it whenever it was raining. So I didn't know if they weren't going to do that or not. But anyway, yeah, I was very excited to catch that. Let's see. Oh, okay. So talked about comfortable shoes. Now we'll talk about the 8th tip that I have for you here. And that is regarding alternative firework viewing areas. So of course, when you're visiting Disney World, a very popular thing to do at the end of the night is to watch the evening fireworks shows that they have at the parks. So a lot of times they have, there's Harmonious at Epcot, there is Enchantment at Magic Kingdom. And especially during the summertime here now, it has been very chaotic to see these fireworks shows. There's a lot of crowds, and especially at the end of the fireworks show, it can get very hectic and very hard to actually leave the park at the end of the night, especially if you're using Disney transportation. It can get kind of crowded to get back to your resort. There's no problem with watching the fireworks, but if you are wanting to watch the fireworks, but try to avoid the large crowds and long time that it may take for you to get back to your car or back to your Disney resort. There's actually some alternative firework viewing areas that you can watch from that I was thinking of last night when I was leaving the park that really I think people can take a lot more advantage of that maybe they don't know about. So as far as Magic Kingdom alternative viewing points for the fireworks, at the Contemporary, they actually have a separate viewing area that is a very good view of the fireworks. You can still see some of the projections on the Cinderella Castle. And I think they actually also pipe in the music for Enchantment so you can enjoy the fireworks. There may be some other people around you, but it's going to be an easier way that you can escape at the end of the night whenever fireworks are done. Likewise, at the Polynesian Resort, there is a little sand beach area that has a direct view straight on of the Magic Kingdom. You might not be able to see the projections as well, but you can, I think they pipe in the music as well for Enchantment. But it's, like I said, again, it's a great view of the fireworks still, but avoiding the large crowds at the end of the night. Like I said, there's no problem with watching the fireworks at the actual parks, but if you're wanting to avoid those large crowds, using some of the alternative viewing points is just another great thing to do. And then likewise at Epcot, if you're wanting to watch Harmonious or see the fireworks of Harmonious at the Caribbean Beach Resort, there is a nice viewing area at the little kind of boardwalk balcony area kind of by Sebastian's Bistro. You have a great view of the fireworks. You can't really see the Harmonious, like large kind of projection show type thing that happens there, but you can still see the fireworks. And then also I saw on a vlog today, somebody went to Topolino's. That is one of the bars at the Riviera Resort. And there is an amazing view that you can see of Harmonious. So these are some just alternative places that you can watch the fireworks. Keep saying there's no problem with actually watching them in the actual parks, but if you are wanting to avoid the large crowds and mass exodus at the end of the night, definitely take advantage of some of these alternative viewing points. And it's something that I definitely want to use or take advantage of a little bit more in the future because you can still hear the music and see the fireworks, but you don't have to kind of avoid the crowds. So yeah, definitely the Contemporary balcony, Polynesian Beach. At the California Grill, there's also, if you are eating at the California Grill, you can see the fireworks from their balcony, which is another fun thing to do. And let's see. Yes, this is another tip. I'm glad that you said this. I like this. Let everyone leave after the fireworks, then leave. This is a really good tip. I really like this strategy. Like she said, definitely let everybody leave at the end of the night. This is a great time that you can actually go and do some shopping or get some photos in front of the castle or just kind of camp out and relax until everybody kind of leaves, transportation kind of dies down, and then you can leave as well. So I really like that tip. That's very good. And let's see here. Watch the fireworks from on top of the hotel one night. Yes, like where California Grill is, and it was cool. Yeah, see, or even, yeah, if you have a good view from your hotel, that also is even a good thing to take advantage of too. I love that. And let's see, when we go in September, we've got a lake view room from Contemporary. Good to know. There's especially if you'll be right at the Contemporary, you can definitely take advantage of that alternative viewing area. I really love it. It's very nice. It's on the same level of the monorail, I believe. And so, or like where the little walkway is to get to the Bay Lake Tower. So definitely take advantage of that if you are wanting to watch fireworks from the Contemporary. And you can get some great pictures. Just, yes. And, oh yeah, yeah, just be careful not to miss transportation. Yeah, make sure that you're not trying to get out late enough that transportation stops running. That is a very good tip to know as well, because you do not want to get stranded at the parks. So that was my 8th tip there as far as alternative viewing areas. And then the 9th and final tip that I have for you here, guys, and feel free to add any questions or some of your favorite tips, because this is going to be the last tip that we're talking about. But the 9th tip that I have for you here is to learn how to use Disney transportation. So the amount of times that I know it's confusing, there's a lot of ways that you can get around Disney World. You can use a Disney bus, there's a Skyliner, there's a monorail, there's boats, Ubers. There's so many ways that you can get around Disney property, and I'm happy that Disney has these options, but it can get very confusing because you need to figure out where you need to go. So one of my tips to you is to definitely learn how to use Disney transportation before you're actually going on your visit. Learn what types of transportation there are, where to go, how to get from point to point if you're staying on Disney property. Try to figure out what the best form of transportation is so that way you can maximize your time and get to where you need to go. And another thing is definitely budget time when you're using Disney transportation. I think they tell you to budget about an hour's worth of time if you're trying to get to a dining reservation, because it can be a hit or miss at sometimes. And it's nice also knowing how to use the different forms of transportation, because if one form goes down, you can try to figure out how to use a different means of transportation to get to where you need to go. So say the monorail goes down when you're at Magic Kingdom, you know you have the use of the ferry boat to get back to your car or to get back to the transportation and ticketing center to get to wherever you need to be. So ultimately, I just recommend figuring out how to use Disney transportation. I have a video on my channel that talks about the different ways that you can use Disney transportation, what different means there are, and where they go as far as on Disney property. So definitely just recommend learning how to use Disney transportation ahead of time, because the amount of guests that I have seen try to figure out where they need to go whenever they're trying to leave at the end of the night, or if they're trying to park hop, you can waste a lot of time not knowing where you need to be going. So definitely just recommend figuring out where you need to go ahead of time and how to use Disney transportation. And yes, another nice thing that I like about Magic Kingdom is there is a walking path. I don't know how long it is, but you can actually walk from Magic Kingdom back to the Transportation and Ticketing Center, or back to the Contemporary or the Grand Floridian or Polynesian if you are staying around one of the resorts around Magic Kingdom. That is one thing that you can definitely do that I have not had to do yet, but if it ever gets crazy enough, I definitely will probably be walking. And okay, let's see here. Buy your souvenirs before you leave. Yeah, that's, I think what you had mentioned before, whenever it comes to actually waiting for everyone to leave at the end of the night, that's a great time that you can go and do some shopping. Then that way you're not wasting time during the day, actually taking up some time in your park time for doing shopping. You can save it for the end of the night. I really like that tip. That is really great. Yes, because they usually stay open another hour, which is right. And then I think some of the like food areas too, well, at least on Main Street in Magic Kingdom, I think there's some of like the confectionery stays open as well. So those are definitely some things that you can take advantage of. I really like that as well. And yeah, no problem. I'm always happy to help. I love talking about Disney tips and ways to help you make the most of your Disney vacation. Honestly, it's one of my favorite things to do. That's why I like doing live streams as well, because I feel like I can get my thoughts out a lot better and I can share a lot more info in a better way. So definitely love sharing tips with you guys. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I am always happy to help if you have any questions when it comes to visiting Disney World. I like helping you as much as possible, and I just love talking about Disney in general. So, and let's see here. At least now no, we can. We are late stairs. We don't know. Or now we don't have to worry as much. Yes, nice. Yeah, that's another nice thing to do, to be able to take up some time in the afternoon or in the evening instead of using your daily park time. So, and yeah, no problem, guys. I'm always happy to help. I'm glad that the live streams help you. Like I said earlier in the stream, if you're new here or if you're watching on the replay, we do live streams here on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time every Wednesday. So we talk about different Disney tips and tricks, things to do at Disney World, how to plan for your Disney vacation. So we talk about everything Disney. So thank you guys so much for joining in this live stream tonight. I hope you found these tips helpful that you can use on your next Disney visit, and we will see you guys in the next video. So thanks, guys. We'll see you later.